Hey everyone, it's Andy. I am back for yet another movie review, and the movie I have seen two times in 2 days already is Captain Marvel. So Captain Marvel is the 21st movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It stars Brie Larson, Samuel L. Jackson, and Bennett, or Ann Benning, I think that's how you say your name. Samuel L. Jackson, Ben Mendelsohn, and Lee Pace, and Gemma Chan, I believe. There's a lot of people in this movie. It's an all-star cast. So Captain Marvel is based upon the popular Marvel Comics character Captain Marvel, aka Carol Danvers. It was created by Stan Lee, not Jack Kirby. It was created by Stan Lee though, and there's very touching tribute to him in the beginning of the movie. I wouldn't really call that spoilers, but you'll see when you see the movie yourself. I can't remember who it's directed by. It's directed by a woman and a male, so it is a feminist movie, I would say, because it is directed by a woman. So yeah, my general thoughts on this movie was it was good. I enjoyed it for what it was. It felt like a Phase One movie. I mean, I love a good Phase One Marvel movie. I mean, they're enjoyable. Captain America: The First Avenger, I think, is probably Iron Man hasn't going back, I've seen Iron Man recently, and the magic of it's kind of worn off for me. But Captain America: The First Avenger always holds up for me. Like, I know the special effects have greatly improved, and back then they weren't as good as they are now. But kind of watching the first Iron Man, because so many other movies have imitated it and aspired to be it, and it's been the inspiration for many movies within the MCU. I sort of feel that it doesn't. I feel like I could compare this movie more to Captain America: The First Avenger. And even I find the first Thor movie holds up pretty well compared to the other movies. The second one I enjoyed. The great thing about Marvel movies is that, despite how bad they are, we'll at least have some fun watching them. There'll be some good parts. I mean, even the Incredible Hulk, starring Edward Norton, had some good parts to it. So this movie felt like a throwback to the first Phase One movies of Marvel, which is okay. Um, I could compare it to Captain America: The First Avenger, which is a good comparison. So things that I like about the movie: Brie Larson was good as Captain Marvel. There's a lot of agendas, political agendas online related to this movie, and I sort of fall in the camp that defends Brie Larson's remarks. I think what she said makes rational sense, saying for more diversity in terms of like media pool and critics totally makes sense. I understand where she's coming from. So you have all these stupid trolls online just trying to bomb the Rotten Tomato score and the IMDb score. It's just stupid. So I just that's my personal view on it. So I wasn't really upset by that. I'm not like some fragile white male on the internet. Anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But I enjoyed her. She was good. Again, this movie's sort of like Captain America: The First Avenger. It's not the best movie, but it's very enjoyable. It's a great stepping block to better and bigger things, I think. It's a solid foundation for sequels. She's obviously going to be in Avengers Endgame. I won't spoil anything about the post-credit scene, but it's obviously just a building block for that. So that was something I really enjoyed about the movie. Samuel L. Jackson was great. Clark Gregg didn't really do much. In the movie, he was just kind of there, but the de-aging technology in the movie is fantastic. Like, seeing this movie twice, the first time I didn't even notice it at all. Like, it just felt natural. I felt like I was looking at Sam Jackson, let's say like Die Hard 3. That's who I thought I was looking at, which was great. So kind of that era, Sam Jackson and like Pulp Fiction era. Like, I felt like I was looking at that Samuel L. Jackson in the 1990s, which was something I really appreciated. And you know, you've done a really good job in relation to special effects when it seems so seamless that you can't even tell. But seeing it tonight again in IMAX, I did kind of notice it a little more because I knew to look for it because it was my second time watching it. So I did notice it a little more, but it still looked very good. I kind of forgot about it after a while. I noticed it first. So that's a great thing. You've done a really good job with special effects. Special effects in the movie were fine. I mean, it's a lower budget movie in the MCU. It's not like Avengers Infinity War where you need like these incredible special effects and stuff like that. So the special effects were good for what they were. The performances were good. The main villain, Ben Mendelsohn as Talos, the Skrull Commander, was good. He had a lot of nuance to his character, and there's a great thing related to his character in the movie, which I won't spoil. It's a great character moment, and it really gives you kind of sympathy for him and understanding what he does. Jude Law as Jan Rog was he was fine. I enjoyed him for what he was. I mean, he's good. Again, I sort of feel like this movie is like a building block for bigger and better things. So if they expand upon his character and further Captain Marvel sequel, I think they'll allow for his character to be more better because Loki, I kind of viewed as that. He was fine the first Thor movie, but as they fleshed him out in the further ones, like I'd say the third Thor movies where he sort of peaked. So I think they're kind of going that route of him being like Loki. I hope they don't do the whole anti-route thing with him. Anti-villain route with him. Or anti-hero, excuse my English. Yeah, so I enjoyed him. The major criticisms I have related to this movie is... I can't think of any really major criticisms I have. I just think the development of Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, was a little stunted. Like, the great thing about Wonder Woman, and a lot of people are going to compare it to this, but the great thing about Wonder Woman is that you could see that she was human, she had emotion, she was greatly affected. Like, even though she was a god, she still got hurt, and she still felt emotion. That was the great thing about Steve Trevor. It really gave her that human emotion connection and made her feel so relatable and human, just being so emotional. And Carol Danvers in the movie didn't really have that. I mean, there was moments where she did have some vulnerability, but it wasn't on the level of Wonder Woman or other movies I've seen related to sort of empowering female leads and stuff. I think this movie's a great step for quality in terms of film and representation on screen. I think it's great. But you have to have your characters well developed enough. I did still care about her character. I was still invested in her quest because it's a big Marvel movie. I'm invested in it either way, no matter how bad it is. Like, if it's something like Venom, I'm still going to go see it. So I would have liked to see more character development on her part. She didn't really show much emotional vulnerability, but I think, again, this movie's sort of like a stepping block for something bigger and better. It's like a good Phase 1 movie, solid foundation, lead to so much better things. So yeah, I enjoy the movie a lot. That was the only criticism I really had of the movie, and the 90s nostalgia didn't really bother me, because I didn't really grow up during that era, so I don't have as much nostalgia as it for other people. Please ignore my cat screeching in the background fighting. Stop it! Sorry, forgive me. The 90s nostalgia, that didn't bother me, because I didn't grow up during that era, so I don't feel particularly nostalgic. I was born in the tail end of that decade, so I wasn't really around to experience it, so the 2000s is kind of more my thing. And the soundtrack, that's another thing people criticize. That didn't really bother me. But otherwise than that, I enjoyed it, and I give this movie a solid 8 out of 10. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you guys have a great day, and I shall see you next time.